This morning, all 6 people that were on board that small plane that crashed in Tierrasanta yesterday are presumed dead. Music agency Sound Talent Group saying 3 employees, including the co-founder, died in this crash. 8 people on the ground were injured, and many residents have been allowed to return home now. Hancock and Miller elementary schools are open today, classes back in session. We have learned that business jet took off from Teterboro, New Jersey. It made a fuel stop then in Wichita, Kansas, and was believed to be heading to Montgomery Field here in San Diego. Instead, the National Transportation Safety Board saying it hit power lines there in Tierrasanta and crashed into this house.
Some of the people who live in the neighborhood are back home this morning, and CBS 8's Chris Gros is with the people who were in that home that was destroyed during the crash. Yeah. This is the initial impact house, correct?
Yeah, this is where essentially all of the chaos began once that plane began to make its descent into this crash. In fact, I'll show you one more time here. If we zoom in, you can see some of those tree branches there just behind that silver sedan, and you can probably make out the front of that Ram truck. That's where it was parked, and according to the couple that we spoke with, they were told by federal investigators that truck getting hit by that plane likely saved their life. Benjamin McCarty is the father of 2. He told us that he is still just thinking about all the precautions you take as anyone in a family, locking the doors, making sure that the kids are safe and sound, but nothing can prepare you for something like this.
Me as the father and the person in the house trying to sleep at night and knowing that, like, you try to protect from everything, but then even something falling from the sky hitting you, it's like, how do you, there's nothing you can do to plan for something like that and worry about it.
And it was such an emotional conversation speaking with McCarty. He told us again, he's been in the Navy for 13 years. He's been in dangerous situations before, but nothing's given him that shell shock, that sort of just kind of looking back. He told us that going over speed bumps right now, hearing the planes overhead, that they're still giving them that fear, that scare, if you will. Now, he and his wife, they were sleeping as just so many other neighbors were at the time of this plane crash. They heard that loud boom, his wife screaming. They immediately went to go check on their kids, ages 2 and 4, wrap them in blankets to be able to help them not be exposed to any of the smoke or maybe if any flames got inside. Thankfully, one of their neighbors actually set up a step ladder. They were able to escape through their backyard and use that step ladder to get over an 8-foot fence where they hit one of those hills and kind of went down, but got to safety. Now, Shrujana, that's his wife. She told us that it was just something out of a movie when she went and saw their living room. Take a listen.
Walked into the hallway to see if we could go out the front door, but the living room looked like, this is the only way I could describe it, in like movies where they show like a meteor hit and you see the debris everywhere still burning and burning holes through the ground. That's what my living room looked like.
Now, Liberty Housing that runs this neighborhood, again, this military housing community, they've actually already put them up in another home. They're going to be reunited with their 2 children. They did not spend the night together just because of everything that was going on, getting resettled, etc. But they'll finally be all together as a family. They were able to get their 2 dogs. In fact, I remember being at the YMCA and seeing Benjamin. And again, this is just natural what we do for a living in moments. We ask people for interviews, and he was just so busy. He had one guiding principle, and that was at that moment to make sure that his family was okay, and then also to find his dogs. He politely told us, hey guys, we've got more important things to deal with, and obviously that's the case. But then we saw them come back out with those dogs, and we couldn't help but again in that moment just yesterday morning, not knowing that their house was that main one, just say, hey, look, we're so happy that you got those dogs out. So again, everybody's safe that was inside of that home, and they are in another house right now at this moment.